Okay, so we're doing a viewer feature here today. I think this girl's got her own YouTube channel or something. I don't know how active she is on it, but she featured me on one of her YouTube videos, I think a few months back, and somebody sent it to me and I reshared it, and then she reached out and sent me a bunch of her stuff. It's been a minute, so I'm a little hazy on the details, but yeah, let's see what she's got to say here. I haven't read this, so.
All right, so it says, "Hi, sent images here because it's easier to send. This is the development so far. We will still have to clean up around the edges. The artist I go through, V. Matt Sketches, does my work for Blackout. Squid/Alien Octopus was done by an artist in Utah, Tat Gun Joe. The work underneath all the first Blackout, I tried covering it myself one-handed, hence why it was patchy. I was an apprentice trying to cover up the old work of my teacher that taught me how to tattoo. Not named at the first shop that I worked at. I didn't have money at the time and was really trying to start over. My teacher was into old school tradition coloring, third of the color, black and negative space. It was more his way only to tattoo. Glad to cover up the old work and learned a lot along the way. Hope this transformation helps anyone looking to cover their old work. It's okay to start new. Don't do it yourself. Can easily scar and damage the skin if not careful. Thank you."
Yeah, I was literally just saying that last Blackout one we did when the guy was like, "Oh, I could have gotten an infection in there," and I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure you did."
Yeah,
remember that last
it did
one?
look like a
where I was like, "Please stop fucking yourself up, because almost no artist is gonna fucking yourself off works too. Almost no artist is gonna want to touch this."
I think like it's really hard to black yourself out. I think it's really hard to get a proper stretch. Our one artist in the shop started blacking themselves out and stopped real quick. And
here's what
this
I
guy's
guarantee
reached
is hard.
spots that are crazy.
Here's what I guarantee is hard: blacking yourself out when you don't know how to tattoo.
Oh yeah, I bet.
To begin with, right? It's not just black. I wish people would stop saying that stupid thing. Whenever I hear that, it makes me want to reach out and strangle the person until they're just about dead on the ground. At this point, it's the dumbest fucking thing you can say. Please stop saying it's just black. Anyone can do that.
It's not.
You try and do it, you're going to be in the fucking hospital if you're not lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it happen so many times. How many times is it we're reacting to a poorly done blackout?
All the time.
Almost any time we're reacting to a poorly done tattoo, it's not like they're infected and nearly in the hospital.
No.
It just looks like shit.
Yeah.
Right? And it does. A lot of the tattoos we get sent here, color tattoos, there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think it's just so easy to overwork the skin when you're doing a blackout. And I think it's so easy to forget that you're working on a human being, and I think it's really quick
not just
to push.
A fucking piece of paper.
I think it's really quick to push the canvas over the edge.
This
like
is,
skin.
I should say her name here. This girl's name is Mariah Fang. She sent this to me over Instagram, so that means if you're interested in her, you'll be able to find her on YouTube and Instagram.
Pretty easy.
I like the handwork, that finish a lot.
I do too.
It's a shame that this isn't the fucking abyss where they took this photo. You can't see the hand.
Artsy photos.
Yeah, I hate these fucking like black screen like.
I like whatever's kind of happening on her shoulder, chest area too. I'd like to see.
Well, we'll have a look at that. Yeah. I'm sure. I like the shark, and the black looks nice and black. But again, we're in like high contrast.
Yeah, photoland.
Yeah, photoland. So that's not anything that's actually real necessarily. Mr. Shark is fun. He's a little small.
I like his location. I think he's doing like a nice like intersect on that arm between the black and the fresh skin.
Except I'm not happy with how low they cap the inner bicep area.
No.
So hopefully they continue that. That's got to go up into the armpit for sure. Like, well, realistically, even if they don't go right on the armpit, I think all the way up to the top of the inner bicep for sure. There's a natural line that should connect like that, right?
I see it.
If you want to follow the flow of this. And is this just fresh, or is that bruising, or is that color faded off?
I don't know. I think it might be like a fade off, and maybe it's just
fresh.
but it's hard to say.
Well, it's hard to say because of that green, right?
Yeah,
and
'cause
like
the
holy
photo.
shit, what an inflammatory response if not.
To each, I've had soft
here we are,
shaded
healed.
tattoos go purple and bruised looking
So is
before.
this-
So
That's just the inside there. I'm trying to figure this out.
is that the shark again? No, this is a different spot. No, that's the
so
shark
that's healed.
again.
So that is
It is purple.
healed like purpley black, which is a cool look. I like the color play.
Kind of a cool way to fade off into the fresh skin again.
See, I like this better where we can see that black needs work, right? We're not in the abyss here. And when you close up, you can see
Yeah, a little bit patchy.
it's patchy. It's not bad. It's like, but again, this is in every tattoo, right? So like in pretty much anything we're sent in here, it's this. It's just, you don't see this in other things because there's,
Less contrast.
well, it's just there's more going on and you can't focus on it. So like pretty much every high level black and gray is this. It's just that because there's so many different shades, you can't see this this like, you know, patchiness that's happening here. So that's why you do second and third passes and things like this. And I'll always tell people that. This is, again, a little more contrast here. I like the outdoor shots whenever I can get them.
Yeah, me too.
It's just
I love
easier.
natural light.
It's easier to tell what's going on. The clouding, though, is really, really cool against that black.
Really nice high contrast.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
It pops the softness and the subtle shading inside the cloud there.
I like how far they brought that blackout to the wrist too. That's really nice.
So this is her other arm. It's a whole bunch of different critters in here.
Mm-hmm.
And is this the octopus she was referencing? We got to see a bit of it on the other part, but I'm not getting a good view of him. I guess this is the best we're going to get for that.
Yeah.
He's here in the middle of this sleeve. So was that all then there before the blackout? Is
Yeah,
that
I think that was all before the blackout.
so does she have two black arms then, or just the one?
Looks like two to me, maybe.
It's hard to say what's going on. Because this octopus is that the same guy? Yeah, it's the same guy. So she blacked all that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it was, like a progress, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the full story here. So then that all got blacked out as well.
Blasted over.
Blacked out.
Yeah.
So they did cut in a little closer, it looks like.
Yeah.
But so just the one black arm for now. But as I usually see it, when you start getting into blackout, you start with one arm and usually end up with two. I think eventually you're going to end up with two black arms too.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I think your other one goes full black eventually.
Oh, no, not the pumpkins.
You're talking about no, I mean
Oh, yeah, I think like it's getting more and more likely.
like you're talking about
as
doing
we go.
spider webs and stuff, but like I think it's more likely going to be two black sleeves.
Yeah. The top tattoo on my arm isn't aging as gracefully as I would have liked. So
The witch.
yeah, the witch herself is hard to find, and that's no fault of the artist. I don't think. I just think it's the concept was really dark and
Yeah, I mean black clears up everything.
yeah.
Right? Like you could probably leave the Reaper and you'd be fine in there for a while.
I think I would get rid of everything if I'm gonna. But and like I don't necessarily want to get rid of that
Yeah.
tattoo. I could see myself blasting over the whole thing.
I like the octopus here, but I don't think he's long for this world.
No.
Right? Like I think he looks nice and he pops.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people out there that don't have or have no interest in getting blackout right now, it's one of those things that when you start, because people have said, I like the thing. Why would you tell her to get rid of it? Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And the minute you get into this, your mind changes about those
Yeah,
things.
because at first when you were doing your blackout sleeve, it was like I just want to have
Wow.
background.
Yeah.
And then
It was less of an aesthetic than it is these days, though, too.
well, yeah, and like I don't know, the way you started is out of a desire to you didn't like the fire, and then you were like, oh, I could get rid of this piece. Oh,
Let's
I could
be
get rid
real,
of this
though. It
piece.
was also just wanting to keep going,
Yeah,
right?
of
Like it was
course.
just like, oh, well, I want to do more. And Lee and I were always joking about, the only way to fix that sleeve would be to black it out, and then one day suddenly that's an option.
Yep.
So the thing is like when you get into that, it's very rare that it ever stops.
No, yeah, it's
Right.
it's a slope. It's a steep slope.
The only thing that's a barrier for most people is the pain. But if that's not a barrier, then you get a lot more of it. Like, how many people get a blackout and they get another arm blacked out? And then sometimes it turns into a black neck, and then they figure out a way to build that together. And it's rare that it goes as far as I took it. Like,
Right.
we're not standing here. There aren't that many people standing there with a near full black body.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that becomes its own addiction. It's a higher level of addiction than regular tattoos are by far. And especially for women right now, it's become like a real aesthetic thing,
Oh yeah.
right? You very commonly on Instagram will see women with a lot of black work these days.
The black
almost like
work
tights or
really can
something.
sculpt the body, and these artists are doing something really fun with the female figure and these black sculpted bodysuits. I think it is really aesthetic.
It's become like almost a trend, more so for women than men, and like it's not in reality that popular. Like
No.
realistically, like if you go to the mall in any given city, and I don't give a fuck where you live, this is the case, it's not traditional tattoos you see. It's not, and I will say this again louder for the people in the back, this isn't everywhere around the world, and don't try and argue with me. Anywhere in the world, you see black and gray,
Yep.
black and gray,
Yeah.
black and gray.
It's the
And
most
then
popular.
and then like you'll see one or two blackout things in an entire city usually.
Mhm. And then you'll also see one or two of those crazy flower girls with that
Yep.
full
You'll see a lot of
full
you'll see
color
that.
floral bodysuit.
But like the thing is like people are seeing black work online because it's like it gets a lot of these like low-hanging fruit people to scream and shout and make all kinds of gross noises that they think are words,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like you'll get a lot of views on black work because you get a lot of very unintelligent people saying stupid things, and that triggers to the algorithm that more of those people will get outraged, and then you see more of it, right?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of
So
pretty alternative girls rocking them too.
but what I'm saying is then, because of that, it reaches more people. It doesn't reach less people because you make unintelligent noises. It reaches more people.
I know. The trolls are so funny because they don't realize the more you're interacting
Oh,
with something,
you're spreading it.
You're spreading it. If you hate something, the best thing you can do is not interact
Yeah,
with it.
so the more you hate on blackout tattoos, the more of these girls are going to be wearing them
Oh, for
because
sure.
like, and I'm not saying she wouldn't have done it. Like, I think her work looks nice and I think she'll probably do more of it, but the more you hate on a thing, the more people are going to see it and choose to do it. So for the people who are really rude about these things, you're just empowering it, right? Like, I never trended more than when I was doing my blackout tattoos.
Oh yeah.
That's when my account was growing the fastest because I had the most malcontents coming in and screaming and shouting about
I
it, right?
can't believe it.
But because of that, and because of other people that were doing it around that time and earlier, it's become very palatable, and women have really taken it as like a fashion thing.
I really think it's a good fashion thing.
It wasn't for me that way though. Like, it was never like that. It was just like, oh well, you know. And I still think it's better to do when you're near the end of your tattoo work than when you are at the beginning. But it's become something that people are choosing from the beginning. Even like it's becoming like people look at it as a viable like stylistic alternative to say traditional or black and gray, right? And that's what's happened. That's how culture has taken it, right? So, but I think she's got some work to do, smoothing things out here. I think that the alien, like squid guy, is probably going to go too.
Eventually, I think so too.
I think probably she'll get into more ornamental black work designs. It seems like people, when they start out, they think small, and blackout is a very easy option for people to take as a cover-up when they start thinking bigger, or they have the money to afford a bigger concept, right? So I think it's a very natural thing that we see people getting more into this. And you can see on her arm prior here that there was a time when she was piecing things together very kind of like haphazardly. And
Well, she said that it was her old mentor, so Just like, when we're in the shop and we get bored and tattoo each other, like,
Yeah.
I've got some pretty haphazard stuff going on my legs. Just some people end up with it on their arms.
It's just like things aren't spaced well, and it's just kind of got this blobby look to it.
Slap and go.
I love the people who will be looking at this go, well, it's better than the black. The black's just black. It's like, no, you're just a moron, and you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, because the black arm looks a million times better than this, and it's not an argument either. I don't give a fuck if you say, oh, it's up to taste. No, it's not up to taste. The stuff that she blacked out is objectively worse than the black, technically speaking.
I agree with that fully.
So... I would be interested to see this progress if she feels
Inclined.
she'd be interested to show us the rest of this.
Yeah, I'd like to see more.
I'd also like to see more of this chess piece too.
Yeah, there's something kind of cool going on up there, and I kind of want to see what's going on. Like,
I was digging around to see if we see more of the chest.
More bodysuit shots, please.
I don't get a very clear look at the face either, or the neck.
The throat there. Like, you've got some neat work.
Yeah, there could be more to this that we're missing, so I'd like to do a follow-up on her.